Time is 7 p.m. and I call the meeting to order. And our first agenda item is the Pledge of Allegiance of the flag. And Chief, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief.
If a couple of the officers want to come in and stand over here, they can. Just to, we don't want everybody out in the hall.
I know.
Okay, our first appointment this evening is the swearing in of Chief Dumas, an appointment to the Raleigh Emergency Management Agency and Northern Essex Regional Emergency Planning Commission. Police Chief Scott Dumas was appointed by the Board of Selectmen in April and started working on April 18th. Due to the timing of his appointment, the Board of Selectmen was not able to have a formal swearing-in ceremony for our new police chief. Tonight, we are ratifying our April 7th vote to appoint Scott Dumas to the position of Police Chief of the Town of Raleigh. On April 7th, 2016, Vice Chairman Joseph Perry made a motion to appoint Scott Dumas as Police Chief effective April 18th, 2016. Clerk Robert Snow seconded the motion, and the board voted unanimously to appoint him. Tonight, we will take a vote to support the April 7th vote of the Board of Selectmen and ask that Scott be re-sworn in to his position. On a related matter, the police chief serves as the Raleigh Emergency Management Agency and the Northern Essex Regional Planning Commission. Chairman Murray will call for a motion and the vote to appoint Scott Dumas to these two roles through June 30th, 2016. Scott will be reappointed during the month of June with the other town members of these groups. So if I could get a motion.
I'll give you that motion, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Do you want to do a separate one for the emergency management positions?
Make a motion. Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations.
Come forward. Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, sir. Great to have you. Thank you.
Welcome aboard, Chairman.
Then he takes them after we swear him in. So, as Bob said, we've already done this once, so it's not like he was not sworn in for 2 weeks. But we've done it again. I put it in big print so he could read it. If I could ask you to raise your right hand.
I, Scott A. Dumas, do solemnly swear that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to, and will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and that I will fairly and equitably execute and enforce the laws thereof within the extent of my authority and jurisdiction. I, Scott A. Dumas, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent on me as Chief of Police of the Raleigh Police Department, and I will obey and be bound by such rules and regulations as now or may be, from time to time, established for the government of the Raleigh Police Department. I, Scott A. Dumas, hereby accept the position of Chief of Police in the Police Department in the town of Raleigh. So help me God.
Congratulations.
Almost all the way to the end.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
If you'll sign mine and yours.
I find you be signing your name a lot, Chief.
Yeah.
We'll take care of the other appointments when the paperwork catches up to me. And I understand your wife wants to pin your badge. Is that okay?
You should get a good one, because I...
This is your only chance.
Except for I can't get it into the right spot. All right, maybe you should have someone else do it. Good enough for now.
Well, just briefly, I really couldn't be more proud or happy to have been selected for the town of Raleigh Chief of Police. The first month here has been eventful, but it's been very fun. The people have been outstanding, welcoming not only the people I work with and work for, but also the townspeople have been phenomenal and very welcoming. So I look forward to many years. I want to thank my family for coming out and the town for doing this, and obviously some friends and former coworkers for coming down, and other members of the police department. So thank you very much, and I'm ready to get started again.
Can I just say, Chief, we've had nothing but good reports. And you met my wife today over at the Council on Aging. For those of you that don't know, he went over and spoke to they have a meal on Monday, luncheon meal on Mondays. He went over there and was very well received, along with Officer Hills, who basically deals with the elderly. Started the new school lunch program, which I've heard back is very successful in terms of the officers. He and the officers will be going over and spending time at the elementary school, having lunch with the kids a couple of days a week anyway. So it's off to a great start, along with a little bit of excitement in your life. And, not much time to break in. And you have a good department there. We had a great interim chief, and Bob Backer, our retired chief, and just have done a great job. And we're looking forward to having a long and great experience with you in the years ahead.
Great.
So thank you very much for coming aboard, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Selectman. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Now I'm sure these folks are going to empty the room for you.
And they did give me the other.
Congratulations, thanks for coming in.
It's really nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome aboard, too.
Hey, how you doing? How's it going?
Wonderful
Good to see
to
you.
meet you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
You'll be glad.
Oh, sure.
I like that pin you have. I like that pin you have
Well, you
on.
know his son's Marine, my grandson.
Well, I was too, but that's enough.
How you doing, fellas? Very nice.
Don't keep it open.
Just shut it partially.
We'll leave it open.
There we go.
We do have a citizen's query from 7:10 to 7:15.
Sorry, Bob.
We do have citizen's query from 7:10 to 7:15.
Okay.
And you want to do that thank you that you requested?
As you all know, last week we passed the fire and safety building. And I just wanted to go back, and I asked Bob to have a second, just to thank the committee that met for over 2 years trying to get the land, and we finally settled on. So, just want to thank Chief Broderick, Doug Chadbourne, Jay Savansky, Tom Marsh, Tom Heidegard, Dave Gagnon, and Janet Bridges.
Okay. And it's about 1 minute to go. Citizens' query will open at 7:10 and close at 7:15. So Brent, when you're ready, we can start.
A couple of general business things.
Okay, we can get down to that if you want to. And general business number 1. Okay, attention Board of Selectmen, reuse of Margaret Scott Green. Gentlemen, the Raleigh Historical Society respectfully requests the use of the Margaret Scott Green at the intersection of Main and Pleasant Streets on Saturday, May 21st, for our annual plant sale. This event would run approximately from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll need to start setup about 7 a.m. and will be clear by 4 p.m. With your permission, rain date Sunday, the 22nd. Respectfully submitted, Susan G. Hazen, President, Raleigh Historical Society.
Give me the motion, Mr. Chairman. Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And I'm going to recuse myself as I am a director. General business number 2, Northeast Massachusetts Mosquito Control and Wetlands Management District notice on aerial application to control mosquito larvae on coastal salt marshes. Okay. Press release is aerial application of control mosquito larvae on coastal salt marshes, the Northeast Massachusetts Mosquito Control and Wetlands Management District anticipates it will be necessary to conduct a helicopter application of the biological larvicide BTI to control mosquito larvae over coastal salt marshes in Salisbury, Newburyport, Newbury, Ipswich, and Raleigh during the daylight hours between May 8th, 2016 and May 21st, 2016. The material to be applied, BTI, is a natural bacterial found in soil and water. BTI is a very selective larvicide which is non-toxic to people as well as fish, birds, bees, and to virtually all insect species. BTI only affects mosquito larvae and a few closely related aquatic insects in the flying family. The BTI will be applied by helicopter flying low directly over the salt marsh. The product name of the BTI is Bactobacter 12 AS EPA registration number 7304938. Residents need not take any special precautions due to the safety of BTI and because the application will occur directly over the salt marsh and not residential areas. For further information, contact Mary Dugan, Executive Director of the Northeast Massachusetts Mosquito Control and Wetlands Management District at 978-352-2800. We're all set for you. Let me just get me. Okay, our 7:15 appointment is Conservation Agent Brent Bazelak to discuss the following: signing of deed for conservation land grant, land gift from Sandy Patrickin, and request to place conservation area sign at Eris Park on Smith Lane. Okay, Brent?
Good evening, Chairman Mary and members of the Board of Selectmen. Brent Bazelak, serve as conservation agent to the town. And we've had a marvelous offer of 20-plus acres from 420 Newburyport Turnpike Realty Trust LLC, I believe. Sandy Patrickin and Brian Patrickin are principals of the trust. And the article passed at town meeting. The Conservation Commissioners at their meeting of May 11th signed the acceptance, and I'm here to request that the Board of Selectmen also sign approval of the acceptance of the land gift. The article passed unanimously at town meeting, and I've just received the certification of that vote from town clerk Susan Hazen today. And so the project for removal of the common driveway and the culverts is 95% complete, with one 24-inch culvert left to be removed. And loam has been spread over 95% of the common driveway pathway that is on the land that is being offered to the town. And so with the removal of the final culvert, and we discussed leaving the gate in place for a while once to let the seeding and everything get started and germinate, and boulders have been placed on the entranceway to Weathersfield Street, but just thought the gate being left up for a little while longer, that would just prove a further disincentive for anyone to walk in there, to allow the land to start its restoration process through the reseeding. So I would hope that the Board of Selectmen would concur that this is a marvelous bequest to the town and would sign their document tonight.
Okay. Signing of the deed for conservation land gift from Sandy Patrickin, the May 2nd, 2016 annual special town meeting. Approved Article number 11, which authorized the Board of Selectmen to accept the gift of land from 420 Newburyport Turnpike LLC for conservation purposes. This parcel is 23 acres in size and abuts the Dodge Reservation. The board needs to vote to sign the deed. Brent will notarize the selectmen's signatures.
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. Any further talk about it?
I was wondering, Brett, was that work all done by the Patrickans? I guess it must have been.
Yes.
So the town didn't.
Correct.
And what kind of?
That was part
Part of the deal, huh?
Of the deal, yeah.
And they're going to reseed it. You know, in what way?
Yeah.
I mean, like wild grass or something.
Yes, actually, there was also a project ongoing on their property. We rolled it into a notice of intent application, which received an order of conditions. And DeRosa Environmental prepared a restoration sequence where the culverts were excavated out, the ground has been sloped down, and that's been protected by jute netting, and then reseeding the lower parts of those now swales or intermittent stream channels will be seeded with a wetlands grass mix, and then just a regular wild grass mix will be put on the upper portions.
It is a very nice bequest to the town, in my opinion. Not often something like this happens, you know.
Not in a location like that.
Right. And it adds to the.
You generally get a piece that you can't even get to.
Yeah, it adds to the Dodge Reservation. It protects the Batchelder Brook. I mean, just a.
Yeah, it actually
No cost
removes
to the
a
town.
fairly significant portion that extended to the eastern side of the Batchelder Stream corridor. This now gives protection to both sides of that end of Batchelder Brook.
Yep. Okay, the motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Grab this off of that list here.
Chairman Mary, while that's being circulated, I request that you just sign my registration logbook for
Okay.
notarizations. Borrow your table momentarily.
Okay.
I'll collect that later on.
Okay, the second part of the appointment is request to place conservation area sign at Eris Park on Smith Lane. On the Board of Selectmen. On behalf of the Conservation Commission and Justin Floodman's Scout Service Project, the Conservation Department respectfully requests permission for placement of a sign within Eris Park adjacent to Smith Lane where the Woods Road enters the Town of Raleigh Conservation Area. Please see the proposed placement indicated on the aerial photo from Town's Pictometry attached PDF scan and marked by orange painted X. Two shown in the attached images taken on along Smith Lane as it approaches the conservation area. A third sheet is indicated that shows the general construction of the sign and explains the proposed wording. The specific location was selected in consideration of line of sight and the ability to see the sign from the metal swing gate, which restricts vehicle access to Smith Lane because of the communications tower facility. It was determined that placement on the conservation area would not allow for the sign to be viewed at any distance due to a slight bend on Smith Lane. The chosen location is on the leading edge of a berm or bank of sandy soil and is located outside of the travel corridor. Since this section of Smith Lane is plowed by the communications tower management firm to allow access to that facility, we hope this request is adequate for consideration and approval. We were unsure if there was a different form or application that needed to be completed. Please advise if further information or details are required. Thank you for your anticipated consideration of this request. The Conservation Department requests the Board of Selectmen act favorably on their request for authorization to place a conservation area sign at Eris Park on Smith Lane. Sincerely, Brent Baselite, Conservation Agent. So, has everybody had a chance to look at the
No, and if I may, I put
Yep.
on the screen.
Oh, okay.
So
Wonderful.
possibly explain this.
Yep. Right ahead.
So this is,
Let me see what people-
Thanks.
as best as possible, this is the specific location utilizing the town's pictometry with an overlay of the boundaries of the adjacent parcels. So looking at that picture on the right-hand side, you can possibly see the assessor's number there at the tree line edge, 1314. That is the conservation area that at this particular location, it comes out, and on the left-hand side in the lower corner, you can start to see the backstop, and you can see the assessor's designation 13-1. That's the Eris Park parcel. And so you can see how the boundary of the conservation area comes out at an oblique angle. And then that is a private parcel that is further back towards the upper left-hand side of the screen. And so the alignment of the Smith Lane Woods Road and Trail as it comes out of the conservation area is set back away. And now I'll go out to a little higher view. I'll go to the eagle or osprey view, which actually shows, you can, at the lower center part of the screen, you can see the shadows of the pine trees that are being cast, and you can actually see the track of Smith Lane and the access road as it goes back in. This gives you a very good sense of what I'm talking about line of sight, because you can see the gravel, the large 3-inch gravel that was put on the sandbank for when they constructed the cell tower, in order so the equipment hauling the large modular sections of the tower structure did not churn away and eat away at that sandbank, which is very erodible.
Yep.
So that gravel area that you can clearly see, the sign is going to be positioned in a little jutting bank of sand that's over to the side of it, which should be out of the way of what little bit of snow plowing and other maintenance that they do there. Let's see if I can go get the
Brent, that Smith Lane goes through some private land there, is that what I gather from looking at the picture?
Well,
It's a
actually,
right of way, but
because the boundary lines are not surveyed registered, actually the Smith Lane portion is on the conservation area, and there's a very low, almost obscure stone wall there, which is the boundary line of the town conservation land.
Okay.
So at no time does traveling on that pathway put you on private property. You stay within the municipal conservation area. So here's a view, and I hope you can possibly discern it. You can see I actually sprayed with marking paint that you can use on the ground and show where the actual posts would be installed. They're right in front of where some cherry trees are growing and have seeded themselves naturally. And although it's kind of hard to see, that actually rises up a little bit above the rubble rock that was used to make the traveled way there more durable when the trucking was occurring there. So that should put it out of the way of what minimal snow plowing they do to try and get in there. And as I said, then because of those line of sight considerations, that's the only way that it would possibly be viewable from the main gate. And I'm hoping that our scout is going to make it very similar to these signs that a previous Scout Service project installed on Weathersfield Street, down by the Mill River crossing, where we have conservation land on both sides of Weathersfield Street at that point. So the intention is for the lower portion of it, instead of saying Raleigh Conservation Commission, we'll say Smith Lane Trail with an arrow pointing to the right, directing people to possibly explore and go down Smith Lane, which then, of course, in about a quarter of a mile or a little less, enters the Dodge Reservation and has been cleared. Scout Floodman was the person who organized and completed the half-mile loop that's down near, much nearer the camp portion of the property. That's now, this is sort of the finishing touches. There will be another sign very similar to this installed on Weathersfield Street on the conservation portion, halfway between the entrance to the parking area where the Y Camp has their signage and where Smith Lane has just been blocked off so that it's just horse and foot traffic accessible.
I just want to say, Brent, to commend you for the amount of work you've put into this whole project, and to inform the board that when we, on the Weathersfield Street side, Brent, myself, and Highway Surveyor Pat Snow worked diligently, along with the office people here, to put together a contract to have that road into the dirt road into the Y Camp widened so that it could be used for two-way traffic, and we could then block off Smith Lane so that can kind of revert back to just a footpath or a horse path. And Brent puts in all kinds of time, and I pretty much monitor it. I go by there almost every day. I monitor it, and I went by on a Sunday, and lo and behold, when I drove in, who was there but Brent, cutting brush and doing some other work on his own time. And I really want to commend you for not only that, but all the work you do, the different projects that you really put a lot of extra effort above and beyond what would be required. And I want to thank TW Excavating for doing a real nice job out there. And then the Highway Department is in the process of, hopefully, they didn't get to it today, I don't think, but next couple of days they're going to be bringing some wood chips. I think Chickadee is donating a truckload of wood chips so they can wood chip the banks, and there's going to be a community service group under the direction of the Highway Department will go out and move them around, put them in place, and really dress the whole both sides of that road up. So it's really been a great project. It looks wonderful out there, and I think the Y is very happy. And I just want to commend Brent especially because he's been most diligent in following up and putting signs, marking the trails, cutting the brush, all kinds of laborious type work that someone needs to do, and Brent's stepped up and really done it. So I would commend you for that, and thank you very much for all you do for the town when it comes to these, not just this project, but all the projects you do. And in fact, just we're working with the Scouts, so that's got to be the, the various projects they've done with the Conservation Commission. So we're very happy, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you for that, but I'm just on the caboose at the end of this project. There was an open space committee diligently identifying and recommending that if the Girl Scout Council ever thought of possibly selling this property, that the town should approach them, and that would be a key parcel in the plan to protect significant open space that is, as I think I've said before, from the aerial photos, it's right in the heart, the center of Raleigh. And I just happen to have the position here, like I said, sort of on the caboose of the end of the train after some of the other heavy lifting has been done, and just feel that it's an honor to be able to help the town realize the acquisition and protection of this parcel, and to have it available for foot traffic.
But as Dave says, you go above and beyond, and we appreciate that, Brent. And so many projects you've been part of in the town, and I know you're going out there on the Girl Scout property, well, mark those trails. So, and other things you do in town too. So, besides that, you're a valuable asset to our town.
Well, thank you.
And we've all worked hard to make this come true, including the staff, Debbie and Amy and the staff here in the office, to do all the yeoman's amount of work that was required to acquire the property, negotiations, and so on and so forth. And I hazard to say that with the Y out there making some numerous improvements to their portion of the property, they're going to make a huge utilization of the trails, and the conservation portion of the property is probably going to end up being the most utilized piece of conservation land. And it's a beautiful piece. I mean, it really is. It's with the pathways and everything else that was there naturally from Smith Lane, and what the Scouts have cleared, and what Brent's done, horseback riding and walking. It's just, I would encourage everyone to take some time when they have a chance, when the weather warms up one of these days, to go out there and really enjoy it. Because when you're out in the middle there, you feel like you're in New Hampshire or Maine. It's just like, with close to 200 acres, it's a huge piece of property that's in a very natural state. We would encourage people to make use of it, because a lot of people put a lot of work into it.
But just for the public's information, motorized transport is excluded and not allowed.
A forever problem.
Yes.
So you need a motion to?
Yes.
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor of the signage signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank Mr. Flutman for us for the work he's putting in, and effort he's making.
Not yet.
Make this come true.
After he utilizes our post holder,
So far,
and
so
gets them
good.
in place. Thank you.
Did you? Back. Did you want a copy of this back? This is the deed itself? Or?
Well, I was going to wait until your office staff copied it, and then
Okay.
they'll
I'll
put
leave it in the package then. Okay, so that takes us down to general business, number 2. Did we do that one already?
Yeah, number 3.
Yes, we did. That was a press
number 3.
release. So we'll go down to number 3. Okay. On Sunday, May 1st, at approximately 5:40 in the evening, the Raleigh Police Department received a call regarding possible shots fired in the area behind Market Basket. The call came from an off-duty Ipswich police officer and Iraq war veteran. So the call had some legitimacy. As officers were dispatched, a reporting party came into the lobby to report he had been shot at. This type of call is not an everyday occurrence in the town of Raleigh, thank goodness. That was my comment, thank goodness. However, you wouldn't know it based on the actions of those that were working and those that were called to work that day. All displayed extreme competence and professionalism, allowing the matter to be resolved in a relative short period of time, with few exemptions. Most critical incident calls that come to the attention of any police department is initiated by a call to dispatch. That initial intake sets the tone of the remainder of the incident. The Raleigh Police Department is fortunate to have many skilled dispatchers in their employment. Several notifications were required in order to get the resources needed for a quality response to these critical incidents. One of those notifications was to dispatcher and reserve police officer Sherry David to assist with the call volume within the center. Dispatcher David was able to respond in a very short period of time. A VAPN alert had been sent out alerting area agencies with information on the subject. This generated many calls into the center. The center also received calls from responding agencies seeking information on where they should respond. Dispatcher David assisted greatly in meeting the demands of the center during this event. After the initial intake, interviews from witnesses needed to be conducted, all while the press was in the lobby and outside the station. Due to the confines of the station, Officer David was able to assist with the integrity of the investigation in keeping the witnesses separate and away from the press sitting with witnesses in the booking room until they could be interviewed by the lead investigators. Dispatch and Reserve Police Officer Sherry David's commitment and dedication to her profession were on full display, and her assistance during her off time was greatly needed and appreciated. I hereby recognize Dispatcher and Reserve Officer Sherry David through this letter of commendation. Okay. Do we have the other members that were there?
I got one for Ziv.
Yeah, here's Matt's right here.
Okay.
Should be one for Lutz, Pamela Lutz too.
Yeah, evidently there's only one in my package. So, there should be a second one going.
Yeah, that's the map.
Okay. On Sunday, May 1st, at approximately 5:40 in the evening, the Raleigh Police Department received a call regarding possible shots fired in the area behind Market Basket. The call came from an off-duty Ipswich police officer, an Iraq war veteran, so the call had some legitimacy. As officers were dispatched, a reporting party came into the lobby to report he had been shot at. This type of call is not an everyday occurrence in the town of Raleigh. However, we wouldn't know it based on the actions of those that were working and those that were called to work that day. All displayed extreme competency and professionalism, allowing the matter to be resolved in a relative short period of time. Detective Matt Ziv was one of the original officers that responded to the area behind Market Basket. Other than the short periods of time that he would go home to sleep, for the next 72 hours, Detective Ziv would do little else than track down every lead of this case until the suspect, now with nowhere else to go, turned himself in. With the assistance of the state police, Detective Ziv conducted every interview, chased leads, conducted surveillance, traveled out of town, relentlessly in pursuit of a dangerous felon. Detective Zip's knowledge of all those involved, their associates, their hangouts, and his network of connections with area departments brought a wealth of information to the investigation, allowing the investigators to doggedly pursue our suspect. During the course of the investigation, with information gathered through the aforementioned methods, officers developed information on a possible location of the suspect in Peabody. Working with the state police and Peabody Police Department, officers did not locate our suspect, however, did make contact with some known associates, which resulted in 3 arrests, a seizure of drugs, drug money, and 3 additional handguns taken off the streets. Detective Zip's work ethic, drive, commit, and professionalism directly resulted in a dangerous felon turning himself into police. I hereby recognize Detective Zips through this letter of commendation. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, next week we'll have the letter. For some reason, it's missing from your packet.
Okay.
On Pam Lutz.
Yeah, it's not, I thought it might be stapled with the rest of it.
No,
but it's
I don't
not.
know how, when it was copied, it must have been inadvertently left out of your packet.
Let me check those off so we know we did them.
So just for the record, Mr. Chairman, that we'll do it next week for dispatcher Pamela Lutz, who also got a commendation. We're just missing the paperwork, so
Okay.
we'll do that next week. So we just want to recognize her tonight with the other 2 anyway, so that
Yes.
she doesn't get left off the
Yeah,
list.
actually, I happened to be home that night at that time, and was listening to the monitor. And you knew there was something really serious going on. And it was done very well. I mean, there wasn't that, and it, you know, a lot of times you get a bunch of confusion going on, people are running this way and running the other way, and there was none of that took place that night. It was right down and followed the protocol right through. I mean, it was amazing. I was surprised that it went so smoothly, because typically those things can get very out of control, if you will, because you get so many agencies answering. Ipswich was trying to get in. I know they were looking in other places for this guy, and it really came off very, very professional while I was listening to it. So, all right, general business number 4 is Raleigh Police Association to hold a Red Sox annual softball game fundraiser on June 25th, 2016 at Everest Park. And it's a benefit softball game. Raleigh Police Association proudly presents 12 p.m. Red Sox alumni charity softball game versus Raleigh Police Association All-Stars. 7 p.m. Saturday, June 25th, 2016 at Eris Field, 477 April Street, Raleigh, behind the police station. Autographs and photos during the game, field seating, blankets and chairs suggested. Proceeds benefit the Raleigh Police Association. Dear supporters, the Raleigh Police Association is currently in the process of conducting a local fundraising campaign. We are offering ad space in our emergency program booklet that will be distributed at our special Red Sox alumni softball game on Saturday, June 25th at 12 p.m. at Eris Field behind the police station. After the game, there will be opportunities for autographs and photos with your favorite former Red Sox player. All contributions to this campaign will receive an official receipt and free tickets to the game. Proceeds from this campaign will benefit local youth activities, scholarships, and many other worthwhile activities that your local Brotherhood of Police support throughout the year. Please take a moment to consider the value of the many Raleigh Police Association supported programs in your community and show your concern by helping sponsor this event. We thank you in advance for your support. And they do have some corporate sponsor levels. Corporate sponsors are greatly appreciated. Corporate sponsors receive a logo on the front cover, a 2-page spread, complimentary tickets for staff or charity, and announcements at the event as the corporate sponsor. Gold corporate sponsorship is $5,000. Silver corporate sponsorship is $3,000, and bronze corporate sponsorship is $2,000. Our program will be on an 8.5 by 11-inch publication, full color ads, credit cards accepted. Ads are as follows: 2-page spread, $1,495. Outside back cover, $1,295. Front back inside cover, $995. Full page, $795. Half page, $595. Quarter page, $365. 1/6 page, $295. 1/8 page, $225. 1/10 page, $150, and business card, $100. Sincerely, Raleigh Police Association. So that sounds like a fun time. Okay. Old business, number 1, signed Tata and Howard contract and award construction contract to T. Ford Company, Inc. The board needs to vote to sign the engineering construction administration contract with Tata and Howard. There are 2 originals that need to be signed. The board needs to vote to award the construction contract to T. Ford Company, Inc. in the amount of $143,900. The board needs to vote to authorize the chairman to sign 4 notice of award documents. Is there any discussion? Or?
I'll give you a motion, Mr. Chairman, to sign the Tater and Howard.
Second?
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any further comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, now I just gotta figure out which one of these is which.
While you're doing that, Mr. Chairman, if you want, I'll give you, seeing as T. Ford Company was a low bidder on the project, I'll give you a motion to award the bid to T. Ford Company Incorporated for $143,900.
Okay. There are 2 originals for the Tater and Howard. Okay, so we can sign those up. I think it's the next one down. Okay. Those are the 2. Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, they're just the 2 for the
Just the
Tater
2.
and Howard. Yep.
That's 2 signatures?
Just
Yeah,
2,
there were
yeah.
2.
On the Tater and Howard one, I guess the other one's got 4. That's got to be signed by the chairman. That one. do we take a vote on that motion?
No, I gave you the motion, wait for a second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to sign the T. Ford Company contract.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, that's a notice of award, not a contract.
Notice of award, okay. The notice of award contract, construction contract says on here, right?
No, you're awarding the contract, so it's a notice of award, it's not the actual contract. As soon as I get that notice of
Oh,
award,
okay.
they have to respond back
Okay,
with the bond and everything.
Okay,
So that's coming.
I'll make the motion to reflect that.
Second.
motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Mr. Chairman, you can sign that later if you'd like. I can go through that package with
Okay,
you.
I think I finally get down to the last 4 tags here, so I think that's
Okay.
where I'm supposed to go, right?
If that's where you like to do it, okay.
Okay, so that's the owner's signature, correct, Doug?
Yes,
Of the project, not the company.
yes,
Okay.
owner is the signature. I can fill in the date.
Okay. Okay. That takes us to new business. Number 1. Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 33B, B, transfer to town accountant expenses. The Board of Selectmen have received a request from the town accountant, Susan Bailey, to transfer $800 from the assistant town accountant wage line to the accounting department expense line. The board needs to vote to approve this request and to sign the transfer form.
Is that a motion, Mr. Chairman?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. New business number 2, authorize town administrator to review fiscal year 17 MIA property casualty and workers' compensation insurance. Debbie needs to renew the town's property casualty and workmen's compensation insurance policies with MIA for the upcoming fiscal year. Debbie asking for the board to vote to authorize her to renew the policies. Entertain a motion.
Give me that motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So you're gonna sign that one, Deb, right?
I have, yes, upon authorization.
Okay. New business number 3. Okay, to Chairman, Board of Selectmen, from Mary Beth Weisner, Water Superintendent, request to appoint Water Department employees. I would like to respectfully request the Board of Selectmen appoint Philip Moran as the Distribution Working Foreman Operator in Training, OIT, and Jonathan Carey as the Assistant Distribution Working Foreman, OIT. The employees listed above are already currently working in the Water Department.
I'll give you the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Item number 4. New business. Discuss annual Independence Day celebration. The Board of Selectmen has traditionally held the annual Independence Day celebration on the town common on the Saturday before the 4th of July Independence Day holiday. This year, Independence Day falls on a Monday, July 4th. Does the Board of Selectmen wish to hold the event on Saturday, July 2nd, or Saturday, June 25th? Recreation Committee Vice Chairman Tim Southey is available on both of these days. The program will be the same, children's parade starting from the VFW on the town common, followed by races, food, and music on the town common. The details of the event are as follows. Parade, meet at 8 a.m. at the VFW parking lot. Parade starts at 8:30. Debbie and Tim. Parade awards are given out at 9 a.m. at Town Common by Tim. Music and food tent Selectmen, gazebo electricity Bob Murray, music Bob Snow, food Italian ice slush Bob Snow, hot dogs, rolls, condiments, water, ice. I can get that, Bob, if it doesn't matter to you.
Okay,
I did it last year, if you remember.
okay,
Yeah.
sure.
So it's ice, races, registration Debbie, race organizer Tim, prize disbursement Debbie, prizes are coins, $1 coins and quarters, and have been donated by Bob Snow in the past. Judges to be appointed by Tim, publicity, informational flyer in the Pine Grove School for students to bring home, Amy, RCM, Janet, and website Amy. Is there any further discussion?
I would suggest that we do it on the 25th, only because the second, many people have, are away, especially, coming on to the 4th of July weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would think we have more people on the 25th.
Any other comment or discussion?
I have no objections either day as far as I'm concerned.
I know a lot of people have complained about it being, too far away from the 4th, but what you're saying is absolutely right. I mean, people are, if the 4th is,
Well, I know myself, I'm
Saturday,
not available on the 2nd, so, but.
they'll be leaving to go wherever they go.
Yeah, a lot of
on the
people
4th
go
of
away,
July. Yeah.
for 2 weeks or a week at that particular time, so I would suggest the 25th.
I have no objection to that. So, and it's
It's a
a,
decision, it's a very important one.
I know.
There's a lot of children there that enjoy those races.
It's
so.
a
No
no-
complaints no matter what we do, so.
it's a no-win. I don't, it's a no-win.
June 25th is the, your baseball game with the police association.
Yeah, that night.
That starts at noon. We're usually done by 4 noon, I believe.
I think that might be a nice lead into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a good lead-in for that weekend.
Maybe get some more people that are hanging around waiting for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game starts at noon time, so we usually wrap up by by 11 o'clock because
Yeah.
gets so hot that children, can't be running around on the town common when it's stifling. No
I don't know,
workers
did-
like us. You're in the tent, I'm out in the hot sun.
No, 25th is fine.
And then maybe
25th
people
good,
can
yeah,
go to
it's
the
fine,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, 25th.
So I'll entertain a motion.
I'll give
for
you a
that.
motion for the 25th.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor of the 25th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, that was a big decision. All right, minutes. We all love minutes. So the March 28th, 2016 minutes.
I'll give you a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Abstain.
With one abstention. Motion carried. Okay, April 4th, 2016, 11 a.m.
Give you a motion,
Minutes.
Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. April 4th, 7 p.m. minutes.
I'll give you a motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain because I was absent from the motion
Motion
of that.
carried. April 7th, 2016.
Give you a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. April 11th, 2016 minutes.
Give you a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. May 2nd, minutes, 2016.
Give you a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Announcements. The Raleigh Water Department 2015 Annual Water Quality Report is available online at www.raleighwater.com. If you would like a copy of the report mailed to you, contact customer service at 800-553-5191 or stop by the Water Department office at 401 Central Street or Town Hall at 139 Main Street. The town has the following vacancies: Shellfish Commissioners, 1 seat; Fence Viewer, 3 positions; Wood, Lumber, and Bark Inspector; Zoning Board of Appeals Associate, 3 seats; Parks and Recreation Committee, 1 seat. And for more information on these positions, please contact the Selectmen's office at 948-2372. Raleigh Food Pantry is in need of donations. The food pantry is open Tuesdays from 1 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Thursdays from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Salem State University alumni of the North Shore Global Day of Service on June 4th, 2016 from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Raleigh Market Basket Food Drive for the Accord Food Pantry.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made to adjourn. Made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? We are adjourned.